Okay. This says that my monetization was disabled because I did not respond to an address verification that expired February 15, 2023. Okay. And then when I go in here to try to correct it, I've had multiple, you got to see it to believe it, man. So it says needs attention, but when I click off in there, to my knowledge, it is supposed to be able to, you're supposed to be able to go into that. So how did I know that the the web pages were altered? I've been living a long time, and now with there's other people that have witnessed me trying to get a stimulus check. I've never received one. Okay, so I went in multiple different locations and multiple different sites trying to get a stimulus, and I have not been able to get a stimulus check all the way to 2023. Okay. In addition to that, I have been online, and I tried to do things with the Social Security Administration, Attorney General. It's like it's counterfeited. So then I tried to go to Meetup group and try to meet people because my surroundings are so heavily controlled. So in Meetup, I saw that all these support groups were forcing me to be online. So I could not get anything resolved in person. In addition to that, all these support groups had one party in them. I tried to go to city hall meetings. It said it was only forced me to be on city hall meetings online. So, but the repetitive pattern of these issues let me know that these sites were being altered. In addition to that, when I went to YouTube to try to discuss with someone in the chat, they disabled the chat, so I couldn't click in it. Okay, knowing full-blown, no one would ever believe my story. Okay, in addition to that, when they disabled it, and I recorded that they disabled the chat, they removed the chat. I'm looking right at all this madness, knowing full-blown, like I said, no one would ever believe my story. So then they removed the chat. So then they played games when I was on the phone with Health and Human Services. This is also recorded. So she claimed she kept resetting the PIN, but I kept having issues like this. That's why I never got a stimulus, never got anything resolved with missing payments from Social Security Administration all the way back to 2008. They kept hanging up in my face. They locked and closed up in person. So anyway, each time I went online trying to get a resolution for Social Security Administration, it was conflict. So I couldn't get anything resolved, and like I said, they hung up in my face. So then with the Social Security Administration, not Social Security Administration, Health and Human Services, I was on the phone with her. She stated that she reset the password and it was conflict. Okay, so then when I started recording the conflict that I've had to endure years under wraps, then after the third attempt, she said she didn't know. I said police refused investigation. So then after the third attempt, it went ahead and let me get into the system because someone is sabotaging any ability to get help, even with food stamps. So then after I finally got in, my webpage stated that all parties could not add food stamps to their case because they had me on some kind of insurance that I didn't even know I was on because I couldn't get mail. All kinds of interruptions for 5 years. So the neighbors interrupting, and I came outside so I wouldn't get interrupted just for 5 years. It's so coincidental. So anyway, I'm talking about let me pause it, more interruptions. So I got interrupted. So I know people would not believe me when I stated that family members have sabotaged my progress, deprived me of access, rides to the FBI, law enforcement, tried to set me up, did different things, but they did this in fear, in terror. Just do law enforcement. If you go through their phones, their texts, their calls, someone is telling my family members to behave like this. They blatantly lied, tried to forbid me talking about my abuser, cover for him. So I'm just in the experience now, and I was going to disown them because I didn't understand what you can tell family members to make them mistreat me and abandon me when I needed them most. I'm begging for my life, and you're starting arguments, hanging up in my face. So I said I was just going to disown all of them, but I realized that they knew that their life was in jeopardy along with mine. So because they knew that we were in danger, they had to do this, and their abuse is probably even more severe than mine, because I couldn't fathom someone forcing me to cover for my family member that I love's abuse. But I mean, there's neighbors interrupting, family members, just all these kind of interruptions for years. So can I go in? Because I went out, I came outside. So another interruption. But like I said, so family members involved in this. So back to, I mean, there's just interruptions all over the place in my apartment. You just got to see it to believe it. So in the Health and Human Services video, I got distracted and don't know where I was at. And then I've had multiple different interruptions trying to record this video. So in the Health and Human Services, it stated that no one could add food stamps. No one could. Then when when I recorded that, you could see that was altered. That they then, after I recorded that, they had removed the Health and Human Services ability for food stamps. Then they allowed me to record it. So keep in mind, a lot of people shooting these YouTube videos, they don't have someone paid to interrupt them all over the place. They don't have someone standing by them, paid to talk. This is a bit extreme. They don't have all these interruptions. They're not terrified for their life shooting videos in the middle of being violated. Another interruption. Forget it. I just want the FBI to do their job. It's sick and sadistic. I'm not allowed to do this. Multiple interruptions and cons. Even neighbors.